get this. The local copper just came out to check on me, right? Because, anyway, I was reported missing. This is what I was saying about the suicidal threats. So I sent an email to my former best friend and my ex, because he had my stuff, right? And I sent an email that said, I'll be dead by Christmas in the subject line. And then it said, I want you to have all my... I asked him to take my CDs and stuff to her place. And I told her I wanted her to have my music collection, right? Because I used to listen to... I didn't have a huge music, but I had a big lug of CDs that I'd hung on to. Anyway, I just said I'd like her to have them. And, because I didn't want him to have them. But, you know, I thought she might like them. Anyway, he shows her a text message. So he goes to her house to drop off some stuff. Shows her the text messages from me going way back. She obviously just reads through them all. Picks up on the one that says she died on her birthday. I can't remember. Me and him spoke. Or texting on whatever. Or anyway, he'd reminded me, and I said, well, that's very fitting. Something had happened on that day. And I said, well, that's very fitting. You know, you can tell that she died on my birthday. As in, there was a thing that I just said. It wasn't like something I said in passing. Anyway, he jumped on that, right? So he's like, you told me to tell her that. So I did. So he went to her house, showed her the text message. She got angry, reported me missing. But he tells me, he shows her, and she starts crying and then says, I have to do something about this. Godlike, I have to do something about this, right? No one has to do anything about anything. You want to. So, now I'm thinking back to Perth and wondering, she just happened to be visiting for the first time ever when I got raided. She's in touch with my family, right? I knew someone dobbed me in. Anyway, I think she had something to do with me getting raided by myself and copying a attempt to manufacture charge for the rest of my life to help me out of my drug addiction. Rich people send you to a nice rehab facility. Narcissists dob you into the cops. Anyway, so did it again. Reported me missing. The copper knew where I was. I told him. He knew. Anyway, Monday comes, right? I spend the whole weekend out here. Monday comes. I finally got my shit together. I got an appointment lined up with a counsellor and an appointment lined up with the doctor's surgery to get a mental health plan started so that I can get disability, whatever, Centrelink, right? I needed a medical certificate. I come out of the service station after filling up my car. The copper jumps on me and he's like, Rachel, you've been reported missing. We have to take you to the hospital. And I'm like, I'm fine. And he's like, I'm sorry. We have to do this now. It's a matter of procedure. So I stood on the side of the road for half an hour. This chick frisked me like I was a criminal, right? I finally said, can we go back to the cop shop? Because they're waiting for the ambulance. The ambulance has to take me to the hospital. So he let me buy some lollies. We go back. I'm eating lollies and talking shit with the coppers. The ambo comes, telling my life story. Go to the hospital. They take all my vitals. They suggest taking my blood, and I'm so fuck off. You're not taking my blood, sticking anything in my body. They let me go because I'm fine. Give me a cab charge voucher for like $150 it cost about to get back to fucking where I am. Anyway, it was shit. And now he tells me, right? So we're talking. I tell him straight up. He's been nice. He gave me lifts when I was hitchhiking. He's bought me meat because he hunts. So, you know, he's checking up on me. He's a copper. I said to him, you're just coming to check on me and make sure I'm not hanging out of a tree, right? That's all good. Especially when someone reports you missing because you're suicidal and you have to go and get examined. Luckily, I didn't have to bend over and let them look up my fanny and my ass this time. But, you know, I got frisked on the side of the road, so all the locals are like, she's in trouble. She's bad news. Anyway, it's all good. So that happened. And then, so yeah, he's coming to check on me every now and then. And he comes out today. And I was telling him, I said, well, he asked me last time he was here, you should see a counsellor, you know. So I said to him, yep, I got a shrink. And we were talking about that. I said, I think I'm a psychopath. Like I said, I tick all the boxes for childhood, like extremely. And, you know, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I'm telling him about it. And he was like, I'm a bit worried, as in about himself, right? He's like, I'm resonating. I can associate. And I said, I bet you can. Everyone's a fucking narcissist and a psychopath. But I said, you're a copper. Of course you're a narcissist. You went into the profession because you thought you were fucking... It was a power thing. Anyway, he's talking to me, right? And I said, well, who are you reporting back to about me, Dan? I said, are you reporting back to talking to anyone or reporting back to anyone? And he tells me, he's like, no, Rachel, I'm not reporting back to anyone and I'm not talking to anyone about you. And I said, you just lied twice. And he went, what do you mean? And I said, well, you just lied twice in that one sentence. You lied to me twice. And I know it because I saw it in your face. And he's like, how do you know? And I said, I just know. Because I can read liars now, right? As in the body language and stuff. But it's all just, it's not that. I've been with a narcissist that was a pathological liar. And then after I let go of all this emotion, whatever I let go of, giving a fuck about what other people think, stop trying to be something, and we FaceTimed. And I could see him the whole time. And it was amazing. It was an amazing experience to be confronted with a liar that you thought you were so in love with and almost like killed yourself, has ruined your whole life, taken everything you fucking possibly had, you've got nothing left. And you've totally had to just fucking do it hard on your own. And then to let that go and to be able to talk to that person's face, just like normal. Just like we were falling in love again, right? And the whole time I could read him. It was amazing. And he had no idea. Narcissist can't pick a psychopath. The copper's the same. And he's like, can you tell me how you know I lied? And I said, no. I said, you can go do your own research, but you learn the hard way like I did, mate. I was like, he's already been with a narcissist, you reckon? But anyway, I said, everyone's a narcissist. Everyone's a psychopath. Or they're on a spectrum of the two, with a combination of a bit of both. But he was worried. At the end, he said, he doesn't drink, right? He said, I think I'm going to have to go home and have a scotch. And he kept trying to ask me, like, did I do this? Did I do that? Did I look away? And I said, I'm not telling you your tells. That's stupid. You don't tell people their tells. It's like poker. You're not going to tell someone, oh, you know, when you've got an ace, you do this. You don't tell them that. Any poker player knows that. It's what you're looking for, right? You study people and you're looking for their tells. And if you study them long enough, poker face, mate, you got to keep a good poker face for a long time if you don't want someone to pick it up. So anyway, it was very interesting. It made me feel good. And he admitted, he's like, I said, so, you know, you're obviously making a note somewhere about me, right? He's like, yeah, I do. Every time I come and see you, I have to, like, enter it into the system. I said, oh, so you've got a little electronic dossier on me, do you? He said, well, I do have to keep track if I do come and see you. Of course you do, because somebody reported me missing, right? And said that I was at risk of killing myself. So now the cunts they've already got me on file for having an attempt to manufacture methamphetamine charge, right? I copped that. I was convicted. I didn't go to prison, narrowly escaped prison, right? First offence, and I had lots of really good character references. I'd left town and had a transfer with my job, and I was off the meth, and, you know, my life, I'd cleaned my act up. So by the time it all went through, but the judge said it was I thought I was going to prison. So did my friend that was with me, who happened to pay for my lawyer, who happened to be there to bail me out when I got arrested. Anyway, it was good. I actually had this copper worried. Worried about himself. Worried about the fact that I could read him. And then, you know, after all that, and the charming part, right? And then he admitted, yeah, he is reporting back. And I went, see, I knew you lied. Once I said to him, I know you just lied twice, then he was kind of stuck because he said he kind of had to admit it later, you know, I just did the whole charming thing and we kept bantering and talking. And he kept talking because he was curious, right? He's like, how does she know I lied? Because he's a copper. He wants to know. That's invaluable for a cop, right? That's what they do. Question people. So he's like, how? Can you tell me how? Nope. A bit later, no. Did I do this? I'm like, I'm not telling you, mate. I said, you can learn yourself. But it was amazing. Same tells as my ex. Exactly the same. And I was like, this is the same with everyone. Well, every narcissist. I'm like, seriously. It was good. This guy was like, yeah. He was a little bit like, oh, how does she know? I'm like, how indeed. You have to have no emotion. You absolutely have to have no emotion and no investment in anybody. And then you can just read them like a book. Your emotions or your lack of emotions and the trying to find some or whatever it is that you are getting confused with, wasting your time with, don't bother. As in, you are better off letting go, as in not feeling anything. I don't know if it's a place that you can get to naturally, but I think these days, considering how traumatized everybody is just from telly, right? Let alone your family shit, right? Let alone school, right? Let alone relationships. Let alone abuse on top of that. So, yeah. Forgot what I was saying now. Can't remember. Something about everyone's a narcissist, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, reading people now is so easy. So easy because of no emotion. It's that simple. It is that simple. If you can completely separate yourself from your any kind of emotion and I'm at a place where now I've accepted that I have never ever really cared about humankind, and I've known that since I was a kid. I've never had any respect for human beings. But now I know I just don't care about anyone, and it feels really good. And once you admit that to yourself, it's like liberating. But you really have to admit it. And you have to do it. As in, you can't just say, oh, I don't care about anyone, but still go and hang out with your friends and go to your job and go to family fucking events or ring up people and talk to them or whatever. Email them every now and then. You literally have to let go of everything and kill everything off. But you have to do it because you don't care. As in, it just... Unfortunately for me, it's just things have to get so bad that you literally give up caring. I guess that's one way to put it. I know I got here in a really bad way, and I've had a really bad childhood. And I've been through some bad stuff in my adult life as well. So, it's not been all bad. I've had lots of times where I was seemed to be quite a normal functioning adult, really, from the outside. So yeah. Anyway, it's funny. It's like I'm harnessing some power that I've always had and that I always kind of knew I had, but I didn't know what that power was. And all I had to do was let go of caring about what other people thought, as in trying to make myself into something that I thought I was supposed to be as a human. And now that I know I don't have to be anything for anyone, and it doesn't matter what anybody thinks or says, I don't care what they think about me, and it impacts me nil. And I have no concern for anyone else. Their lives don't affect me at all. Their lives don't affect me. Their feelings don't affect me. It's a good place to be, and it's kind of where we should all be. You shouldn't be affected by anyone else, good or bad. You should just be unaffected. And if you can reach a place of total unaffected and being unaffected, that's the word. Yeah. If nothing from the outside really affects you, especially people, you're free. That's what the cop said. He said, it sounds very liberating. And I said, it is. It's a beautiful feeling. Especially when you've spent your whole life thinking that you needed to be a certain way for all these people. And you thought that they were essential to your life to create you and your personality. And then when you realize you have nothing and you are no one, then you don't need anyone to create this persona anymore. Because it's not there. It wasn't real in the first place. But once it completely disappears, because you get rid of everyone that you've attached that image to, once those people are gone that you built your image around, that they're dependent on your image, right? They make you. They are the people that help you make your personality. Once they're gone, and they're serving no purpose in helping you to be a certain person, you don't need them. It sounds really cruel, but you don't need them because you're not trying to create an image, a portrait, a persona, a personality, a soul, a self. Once you're not trying to create a self anymore through other people, you don't need other people to create that self because there's nothing to create anymore. I did say to my counsellor today that I feel like a walking oxymoron. I nearly finished my bourbon after 2 days. I couldn't afford a big bottle. Anyway, I'm sharing that with you because it's exciting. I like this. I always thought I was so weak. Seriously, and that's how I portrayed myself, as a weak person. I can't believe that that's the kind of person that I picked to portray myself as, but it is. Maybe because I've always been around narcissists, and that's the kind of person I thought I was supposed to be. Weak. And I'm not anymore. I don't care. I just don't care about anyone or their opinions or their life. It's a beautiful place to exist. It is a beautiful place to exist. A place of complete uncaring. And knowing that every interaction I have is only to serve a purpose, and that is all. And that I don't actually need people past that. Yeah, liberating, to say the least. Freeing. It's peaceful. I feel at peace. For the first time in my life, I can say that inside my body, I feel at peace. And it's because there's nothing there, and I've embraced it. And I actually like feeling empty, and I like not caring. And it's what I've been fighting my whole life, this emptiness, and wondering why it was there and how I could fill it. And now I know that I can't, and I've stopped trying. It's a beautiful feeling. Just a beautiful, beautiful feeling. As in, it's just nice to feel nothing. It's what I've always wanted. It's like being dead. It's what you want. Just switch me off. Switch me off. This is what you want. I wanted to be switched off, and I've been switched off. I thought that would only come with death. It's come with me switching off. Trying. It's amazing. I've finally been switched off, which is what I've been wishing for my entire life. It's beautiful.